I don't want to. I can't be neutral on that question. But I'm not nullifying Cornell's experience. I'm just saying that hasn't been mine. And in the absence of evidence, I can't just, you know what I mean? I need to know more. And I've been trying to hear more from Cornell about what his experience was. And he's been very, I think, attempting to stay above the fray and not, you know, and not get into a back and forth. But what's at stake with that is I don't know what the heck happened exactly. So anyway, how do you make sense of that? How do you respond to that? And again, this is from a question from a viewer.
Yeah, and it's an important question. So the most informative, aside from listening to Cornell talk about it himself, and I'll be blunt, you know, I think certain of the ways that Cornell talked about this do not portray him in the best light. I'm going to be blunt about that. And I have nothing but love and respect. Cornell West has been a hero of mine. And as somebody that is like rooted both in the Black radical tradition and in Black liberation theology, myself from a Muslim side, him from a Christian side, he's a hero. We have many shared close friends. And I've been looking to try to get a sit down with Dr. West. I've had, you know, like literally been invited to the home of his running mate, Melina Abdullah. And so I don't have any beef with Cornell whatsoever. Ajamu Baraka's interview on this question was formative for me in my own assessment, because what he said was that essentially Cornell asked for the same thing that Ralph Nader asked for when Ralph Nader came out of retirement. He asked to be named the nominee for president of the Green Party rather than going through the process of being elected as the nominee of the Green Party. And just to be clear, the day that I was announced as the vice presidential nominee was the day that the vote inside the Green Party nominated Dr. Jill Stein. And I think it was something like 838 out of 867 delegates nationwide, you know, voted us. So we had this massive mandate from inside the party to run at the top of the ticket. So my understanding, and if I need to be corrected on this, that's fine. Excuse me. My understanding on this was that similar to how Ralph Nader had wanted to circumvent that process, and because of his stature and his previous accomplishments for the party, he wanted to be named as the head of the party and not go through the process, that Dr. West made similar demands. And that when it was explained to him that the Green Party actually votes on stuff rather than coronating people the way that they coronated Kamala, for example, because I don't remember her winning a damn thing, right? I don't remember her winning a damn thing.
One vote was cast for Kamala Harris. That is actual and factual.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all of that is just to say that was persuasive to me. And I'll just be blunt about this. And people can take it however they want to take it. No individual ego is more important than the success of the movement as a whole. Nobody. And people suspend campaigns all the time when it is clear that they cannot produce the electoral outcome that they need to produce, whether that is winning an election or whether it is some other electoral outcome. And we're going to have a serious conversation at some point about whether people's assessment of their own historic importance is standing in the way of the success of a movement.
By the way, I wanted to post the actual person's question because that was it. Now, that explains the Cornell West part of it, but it doesn't address the Jill Stein problematic part.
You've addressed the Jill Stein problematic part. You know, when I see the first trace of white supremacy from this actual 60s radical, I'll let you know.
Fair enough. I just wanted to make sure that I have to be honest.
Well, I mean that's the journalist thing to do, is circle back and make sure that the question gets asked.
Rosability said, "Is there a realistic, effective way to campaign based on ballot access instead of winning the White House that honestly would support base building?" Interesting thought.
Yeah. So I had this discussion with people on my team, and people that insist on playing towards a draw are no longer on my team. So let me just be clear. It is not honesty to say that you are campaigning based on ballot access. That is conceding defeat before the battle has been joined. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gathered 313 people with no arms, no horses, no chainmail in front of 1,000 people that came from Mecca to exterminate him, he did not say we have to survive for a couple of hours. You can beat a superior force with a smaller force when you are organized and when you are in the right. Okay, so, and I do not think that these two goals are mutually exclusive. Okay, the effort to win the election, even though it is a long shot, okay, and organizing towards the goal of winning in this cycle prepares you to win in 2028. It also allows you to think about how you can aim to maximize your electoral impact in this cycle, while also building the institutional strength for future cycles, so that something like me considering a gubernatorial run does both things, right? It demonstrates a seriousness and a commitment to the cause, and it also is not incompatible with the goal of winning in this cycle. And I think that we can absolutely make this effort to prepare ourselves to land an unlikely blow and to consolidate that 5% support. And if you're somebody that can't believe in that unlikely blow, fine, then believe in the 5%. But there are people who out there, many people who believe that with some media access, that the American people are not fools, that the American people have been fooled. And if they hear a quality candidate with policies that serve the American people, that stranger things have happened in global politics. That's all I'll say.
There's one more question I want to ask from the audience.
Yeah, and then we got to go because I got a special needs son that is kicking my family.
I apologize, my brother. Last question, and that is, someone said, as a Muslim, does he support the Green Party stance on LGBTQP and abortion, and how does he recognize it?
Yeah, I think that they mean reconcile, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an interesting question, but it's such an easy one to answer. So the first thing is that just to be clear, the traditional classical medieval Islamic thinking never said that life begins at conception. The ensoulment begins in an Islamic traditional sense at 120 days. So there is actually no incommensurability between abortion rights as constituted under Roe v. Wade and a traditional Islamic conception. And in point of fact, in every traditional understanding of Islamic law, and by the way, Islamic intellectual history is the thing that I teach and study and write about, that in every single conception of abortion law, that it is actually permissible in Islamic law to abort a child right up to the moment of birth if the mother's life is threatened. And the reason is that there is not in any way an equivalency between the unborn life and a grown ass woman. Like the jurist literally said that to pluck a date seed and to uproot a palm tree are not the same. In other words, that the removal of a bundle of cells is not the same thing as taking an actual life. So the abortion question is a non-question. With respect to the LGBTQ question, when I get asked this in Muslim communities, I say, listen, that Muslims do not require non-Muslims to live according to Islamic law, correct? So then that means that LGBTQ issues for people that are outside of the Muslim community are none of your damn business to begin with. 2, no sin, if you understand according to traditional conceptions of Islamic law, if you understand homosexual intercourse as a sin according to traditional conceptions, no sin puts a believing person outside the fold of Islam.
You consider homosexual intercourse to be a sin?
So I consider that the traditional understandings of Islamic law, that you have to there is no plausible interpretation in my understanding that will depict the story of Lot as one that is just forbidding rape. That actually the language that's used in the Quranic version of the story describes heterosexual debauchery and homosexual debauchery with, and these are the Quranic terms for it, not my own, as both ignorance, jahil, so that there's not a fundamental incommensurability for any kind of sex outside of the marital bond in an Islamic conception. And that because that's the case, and because no sin puts a believing person outside the fold of Islam, that therefore what people do in their own private lives does not excommunicate them from the community. So having said that, there is absolutely a position. And by the way, this is not just my position. Like, I've heard classically trained West African scholars say that you never, under any circumstances, shame people for their sexual preference ever.
I think the challenge, but the challenge, and this is we can wrap here, but the challenge is, I think if I'm understanding the person's question in terms of the Green Party's stance, the Green Party stance.
I haven't even gotten there.
Right, but I guess, and I want to create space for you to get there. I just want to make sure. And the question is not so much do.
Oh, hey, you're muted there, Abby. What's up?
Oopsie.
Hi, everyone.
He hadn't even gotten there. I wanted to like end it with him, and then bring my guest on, who I love.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pop in the back there, and I just wanted to say hello, everyone. Just saw that Abby was muted there, so I'm just going to be administrating.
Thank you, Michael. And you could pop in. You are absolutely welcome. I'm just going to play the rest of this, and then I'll bring in my guest.
Maybe you should bring in your guest first and introduce them, and then.
Oh, okay, not a problem.
Your show. I'll just back
there
up.
He is. So. Let me give you some background on who he is to me. He is a friend, a confidant, someone that I truly love. I've known you for how many years, Isaiah? Oh, you're muted. Hold on. Let me fix that. There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night. I think it's 6 or 7 years now we've had the good benefit of being in each other's lives.
Mm-hmm. So you were the one who really made me the director that I was. You taught me how. You taught me how to well, I was already a project manager, but you taught me how to be a producer.
Well,
you remember that?
I do. We had some great times, and I think right from that first day we met on that other person's production, know, at Kismet. So it's it's been a great journey for us together, and I know you've asked me to come on plenty of times, but here we are finally.
Well, actually, to be honest, the noteworthy, that term, we came up with that.
That's right.
It was supposed to be you and I.
It was,
right?
Some had some other ideas,
but the powers that be didn't allow us to have a show together because you were a libertarian. Remember that?
I do.
And that's how I met Michael. And bless him, he's a beautiful person. Wow. But I'm just saying that's how that name came to be. Jacqueline says, "Hey Isaiah, she's looking forward to the discussion."
Stimulates and entertains.
Yeah. I'm so happy you are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you taught me how to be a really good director and a producer. Well, and I'm always thankful for that. I won a couple of awards.
You did, very proud.
A couple of awards from Brooklyn because of you.
Well, you got talent. I just gave you a little bit of what I had in knowledge, and you just took it and made it your own. So, you know, you had it
Thank
all.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And not only do we have that in common, we also have the fact that we've just like sat down and talked
I know.
a lot of times about politics and this and that.
Yeah. We've both said, and, perhaps it'll be demonstrated here on this interaction, that we don't always agree, but it's rare that we're disagreeable. And I think that's a good model for
We can always agree to disagree.
That's right. That's right. And I think we are confident enough in our beliefs, yet malleable enough to recognize points of views that perhaps we didn't originally know, or perhaps see, and then we can sort of bring them in for thought and interpretation on our own without it being sort of an ego. That was the thing with those other folks, right? They didn't want me on because I was libertarian, and what if I said something that you agreed with, and then now it wouldn't be sort of that combative sort of thing that we've come to know in our discourse. And so
Correct.
Show something else to the folk.
Correct. So I just have to tell people I don't hold on, peace fam.
Peace.
So that's Rondo. Peace fam. That's how he always comes in the chat.
Okay, Rondo.
He like a brother from another mother. What I don't know what you're asking, Jacqueline. She says, is any of your work outside of civilian discourse and noteworthy? But yeah. I've done I produce music videos, all kind of stuff. I had a little TV show.
That's right.
Yep.
You haven't been on here sort of slinging your outside wares, huh? Letting people know all your stuff and promoting all the other stuff.
Oh, I got a smudge. Thank you, Michael.
Lipstick smudge.
Look, Michael's a producer in his own right. He said, you might want to check your lipstick. You got a little smudge over there. Let me hook my shit up. Hold on.
Where's the girl when you need her, or guy, whomever?
Thank you, Michael. So I'm gonna look. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I look like the Joker. I was, you know what I was trying to do? I tried to put a little red on, and then do a little blue around it, but it didn't turn out that way.
Okay. A little bit of elephant and donkey going, huh?
Let me see. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. Let me just start over.
I think your lips are much better naturally, personally.
Yes, Michael says the same thing. He says he don't really like me wearing lipstick.
Yeah.
He says personally, he don't. So I'm just gonna put on some chapstick.
Natural beauty is, the true beauty, in my opinion. I mean,
Look, I'm just gonna bring him on real quick because he be saying that shit all the time. Michael.
Well, what's up? Yeah, no, I'd kind of like lips that I can kiss without getting lipstick all over my face. It's me.
You're there, Michael. Yeah. I refuse kisses with lipstick on them. It makes former interests very upset, because I appreciate women take time to make their face up and it makes them feel beautiful, but I don't really want to taste it or feel it or have it on my lips.
Yeah, the taste is not my favorite. Yeah. It makes me wonder what you guys think about the taste when you have it on so much.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't taste it.
No?
It don't have a taste. It has a taste to you guys?
I think so. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I don't know, plastic or rubber.
Really?
Like
Rondo said I had a Joaquin Phoenix face. Hey, old man Barker.
I think maybe sometimes people put makeup on when they're being a bit nervous or something. They do that as a mechanism or something.
Oh, you think so?
I'm not sure.
Shaky hand.
That's interesting.
It's like some people have to calm down. Maybe other people will just put on a little bit of extra, touch up their makeup or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We were flying around a little bit chaotic before we got started. I'd be nervous a bit, you know.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic before we got started. Rondo, see, I guess that's okay. So let me ask this question before we get into Butch Ware. So Rondo says, "I like a more natural palette. However, whatever makes you feel beautiful. Oh, makes you feel beautiful. That's above my pay grade." So a lot of men say that they want a natural woman, but why are they always running after the woman with the wigs and the eyelashes and the BBLs and the makeup? They run after these women, but then say they want a natural woman. The math ain't mathing.
Well, in some cases, maybe there are, if the woman knows how to do her makeup right, like not every woman can do it as good as every other woman, maybe. But maybe it does accentuate their beauty a little bit in some cases if they're not wearing too much or something. And then but I still kind of appreciate a woman who doesn't need it kind of thing. But and then there's people who put, like, you've got a good choice, I think, tonight for what you chose to wear. But some people have like a really dark, like just like a really off-putting color. I find it's like not for me, whatever, you know.
And that's Michael.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But Isaiah, what you got to say?
Yeah, I'm not sure who
you know black men will say that they want a natural looking woman, but they always running behind the woman that ain't natural. So what the fuck is up with that?
Well, I'll give you my personal sort of view on it, and then I'll hypothesize for general representative of my people. I think you can see natural beauty behind those cosmetics. I don't know about the BBL. That's a no-go for me, 100%. But you know, the wig, the hair weave, and the eyelashes. I think if you're sharing intimacy with someone who's got that stuff going on, and you see it come off, and you see the real deal behind the costume, and you recognize that thing is beauty, then it's likely you're attempting to convince that partner, you know, I think you can go without that, my love. I think you're looking a lot better without it. Right? But it seems like those war paint, as someone referred to,
yes, Jack. That was Rondo.
Yeah, it seems like that war paint is just par for the course now. So you got to start at the war paint and try to convince whoever to roll it back. We in peace time now. Rock with me, and we gonna be okay. Yeah.
It's like cultural expectations. Yeah, women aren't so much Jews.
Hey, Bella.
Want to because they feel they have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more about women with other women than it is about women trying to attract men. Like Michael says, that cultural influence.
Oh my gosh.
Of both.
Y'all got to stop that. Y'all got to stop that because men wear stuff to look good for other men too.
That's true.
Well, I'm not saying that either one of those is not true. I'm just saying that, you know, it is not necessary if you're the person you wants to appreciate your natural beauty. You know, I'll attest to that when I'm walking, like if I'm in the city, you know, and you see a well-dressed man, you know, I'm checking, oh, those shoes are all right. Oh, I like oh, that's a nice jacket, or that's a good fit. You know, it's not a sexual attraction thing, it's an appreciation of, you know, a good look, you know, that I may see in myself. And I know women do that for sure. You know, they'll get dolled up because they want to look good, but they also want to look better than another woman.
We could bring up
you think we want to look better than another woman?
100%. I think women's competitive spirit amongst themselves is much more of the motivation behind their beauty choices than it is attracting a man for a mate.
I'd say we could bring up
that's what you think?
We could also maybe bring up capitalism in that the makeup's being marketed to people, right? And so,
and if you bring up eugenics, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Problem of the cosmetic, the health hazards of some of the ingredients and whatnot, not even having eugenics, right?
Jacqueline thinks we've gone off the rails a bit. I may agree.
Oh, Jacqueline said not being funny or anything, but hasn't the conversation been derailed slightly? Yes, no. Jacqueline, because that's what we do. Yes, were we planning on talking about makeup? No, we weren't. But this is where we are. This is where we are. Jacqueline, she already knows us. You know how we act. Yeah. You know we get off the damn subject. So I'm getting back to the subject. Okay, Michael, I'm gonna take you off.
That's what I was gonna say. I'll maybe time to get back to the subject, or whatever.
Okay.
Kind of ran that subject.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you so much for being here to admin in the background. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, got to get back.
He's my friend.
Can't focus.
Thanks, Michael.
Sorry.
Yep, I love him. Ooh, what happened? Okay, there he goes. All right, so I'm going to present this. Now, I haven't seen this either, Isaiah. Okay. This is I chose it because it's only 26 minutes long, and I didn't want to, just in case. Because the one with Brianna Joy is like an hour and something. So I felt like that might be too long. This one is with she used to be my celebrity cheat.
Okay.
And everybody was like, how the fuck is that your celebrity cheat? Hey, Aton. Aton is I met him in Black podcast. I'm really glad to see you here. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
So, Aton?
Yeah, girl, it's my party. I'll cry if I want to. That's what Jacqueline said. Okay, so this was my celebrity cheat. And everybody was like, Amy Goodman?
This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work.
Like, you gotta aim higher. What the fuck? She really was, but not anymore because she's really gotten kind of, she used to be more lefty than she is now. She's starting to get more centrist, in my opinion. So I'm not kind of with her.
Okay. And who's the her? Are we talking about this silver-haired woman who we were just looking at, or?
That's okay. Amy Goodman.
Okay, that's
from Democracy Now.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, I used to call. Well, I love a silver head.
I'm familiar.
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 26. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is if you hear something and you want to comment on it, like either just wave your hand or
Okay.
try to speak out so I can hear you, so I can pause it. Okay.
Okay. And so
All right.
I take it
I gotta
you
go
want me
ahead.
to listen to what's going on here and have give you my perspective on it from my, I guess, ideological slants.
Correct.
Make
Yes.
sure. Okay. All right.
Because you are a libertarian,
Well,
and
okay.
I think I'm farther left than you, but
Yeah,
we come in the middle on a lot of things.
we do.
Yes. So I want to see what you have to say about what you even seen Butch Ware
No,
yet?
I've not.
Okay. So
You
let me
know.
explain.
Okay.
So Cornel West was supposed to be the presidential candidate for the Green Party.
Okay.
Apparently he didn't want to follow their rules or whatever or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So he went independent. Okay. Well, for the Green Party to keep their status, they have to run a presidential candidate every 4 years.
Sure. Yeah.
So Jill Stein ran not because she wanted to, because she had to. She's like 70 something. I forget. She old. I mean, not old, but I mean they old. She's elderly.
Mature.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. I have been like really wary of her because of her connection to what's his name? Shit. Peter Dow. That's
Okay.
right, Michael. Michael, help me out. Peter Dow, right?
Peter Dow? Sorry, I wasn't quite listening.
What's his name? Peter Dow? Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Peter Dow. Okay. So Peter Dow, he was like the campaign manager for the Hillary Clinton campaign. And
It turns you off.
and then he came on the Green Party campaign. She acted like she didn't know him. But then also like in one interview she acted like she didn't know who the fuck he was. In another interview she said he was helping her campaign. Well, which one is it? So my trust went out the window for her. Okay. So, but we have to figure out what we're doing.
In
November
terms
5th.
of supporting your party.
In terms of what we doing November 5th. Yeah. So then she picked her VP candidate. Well, let me back up. I was for Jasmine Sherman, who was on the Green Party ticket, but she's also on the Unicorn Party ticket, the Workers Party ticket. So I really like her a lot, but I don't think she's gonna make it. I mean, I don't think she's gonna get enough votes for it to be a viable option for us to move forward as a society. Okay. So I'm going back to Jill Stein. Okay, her VP pick. Oh, I like him. Jacqueline says perhaps Jill Stein was saying that she knew Peter on a professional and not a personal level. She said she didn't know him at all. Maybe. Okay. All right, Jacqueline. I'm gonna go back and look. But the shit don't look good for her. It don't look good.
There's no room for nuance in
Don't look good. So so anyway, Jill Stein's VP pick, he is a brother from another mother. A PhD, he's a doctor. A doctor of history, no less. And I'm just let you see it. So I'm gonna play this so we can just start from. I haven't watched this either, so it's gonna be you and I reacting to it. So
Okay.
just wave or say something when you want me to pause, okay?
Okay.
Now by Green Party presidential candidate Dr. Jill Stein and her running mate, Butch Ware, a professor at the University of California, Santa Barbara. On Friday, the Green Party suffered a setback when the U.S. Supreme Court declined a request to put Stein
Look at light skin. Light skin, bright skin.
on the presidential ballot in Nevada. The Democratic Party had sued to keep Stein off the ballot for failing to submit the proper forms. This comes as support for Stein has been growing in some areas over Vice President Kamala Harris's refusal to call for an arms embargo on Israel. CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, last month published a survey that showed Stein is leading Harris among Muslim voters in 3 battleground states, Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin. MPAC, the Muslim the Muslim American Public Affairs Council, also recently endorsed Stein. This is Dr. Stein's 3rd run for the presidency. Many Democrats view her as a spoiler candidate, pointing to the 2016 election when Hillary Clinton narrowly lost to Donald Trump. In that election, Clinton lost to Trump.
May I just say, I hate when they say spoiler candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Because my vote is my goddamn vote.
Well,
that's not a spoiler.
But isn't it
like
though?
I mean, well, aren't you a libertarian? Are you voting for RFK Jr.? Like, do you consider yourself a spoiler for not voting red or blue if you're a libertarian?
I consider myself to be voting for my own personal individual interests and principles, but
exactly.
At the same time, I recognize the game we're playing in and how we're being pigeonholed into one or the other, and everything else is sort of, considered spoiler or, fringe or whatever. So I think we got to be able to operate in 2 minds, both a recognition of what we personally believe in, and then also a recognition of the game that is being played. So
okay. So, but do you consider your vote a spoiler vote? Because I consider my vote a vote for my morals, my values, and my interests.
I agree with
that. And that's it.
But no, I agree with that. And I would like my morals, values, and interests to spoil this game.
Can you put that back up, Michael? So, hi, Bryce, by the way. Bryce Smith is here. He says no such thing as spoilers. It's just a vote with your personal interests, which is what we just said. Nah, no game. Sup, Abby, dude.
Well,
what up, y'all? What up, y'all? We chilling. We chilling up in this piece. That's what's up. Okay, so I should get back to the should I get back to it?
I want to move in, drill down a little bit on that point. Whatever word we use, right? We get caught up in the terminology, but the general spirit of the idea is this political arena that we're existing in is primarily wanting us to either exist on a red side or a blue side. And everything outside of that is considered, non-cipher, not viable. And so whether we call it a spoiler or a disruptor or whatever, I think those of us who exist and align our morals and principles with parties outside of that red and blue thing have a responsibility to be consistent with that, but also recognize that being consistent with that means you're disrupting or spoiling the true game that's being played. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying we're spoilers or disruptors. I like disruptors better, sure, but I do believe this two-party system has to be disrupted, and Green Party is a disruptor or a spoiler.
This is why I love you. So the question is like, okay, who, that you got to get like 5% of the vote to get access to federal funding, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So in your humble opinion, as a libertarian, who do you think will get to that 5% faster? Would it be the Libertarian Party or the Green Party?
Oh, the folks don't know me there, but April, you know that I stay drilled in on a very finite piece of mental sort of focus, right? I couldn't say. I'm not well read in enough to say. But what I will say is I think it's important for people who don't align with that red and blue game to continue to move outside of that to whatever side aligns with your person or your beliefs, your principles, your values, your morals. And over time, that will drain away from that mainstream sort of. We get so wrapped up in winning, and this our culture.
Well, okay.
I think winning in a larger sense for the greater of our planet, our society, is drawing away from that forced two-party game into a more dispersed thing. And once you're able to draw power from that thing, then you can sort of reconstitute that power under a more morally principled, ideology.
So, Nahilo, why are you not putting up comments? There you go. Because Sean is here. Hi, Sean. We always like to say hello to our family members.
What's going
on? So, Sean, this is Isaiah.
Peace, fam.
Peace, peace, peace. So Jacqueline says, don't you think it's unfair that they seem to make sure that third parties and independents don't get that 5% in the first place? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think fairness plays a role. I think if you're looking for fairness, then you're not really being serious about what.
If you look up, my daddy always told me life isn't fair.
Life is not fair. And the system that we're living and constructed in is not based on fairness. And 6 media companies own the entirety of all media across our society. So how could
it's actually 3, I think, at this point. Okay. Can you put up that Black Life comment, Michael? Okay. Black Life. So she's just so you know, Isaiah. Black Life has a show on this channel on Tuesdays. It's called Black Life. So she's sending a quick hello and thanks for coming, especially you guest hosts. Oh, especially you, Isaiah.
Check you out.
Yeah. So she'll be here tomorrow. No, actually, I don't think she could come tomorrow. Because Michael's here because she couldn't admin. And Sean says welcome to the guest.
Appreciate it.
Please be our guest tomorrow. Oh, because we're gonna be only talking about black shit.
Oh yeah, I got a lot to say on that.
Oh, we come back tomorrow. We could talk about a lot of shit.
Yeah, I know. You and I talk about it. It may not all be receptive.
Come Kamala ain't black.
For me, what is black, really? You know, right? What is black, right? Not to go off and undermine.
We got to talk about that tomorrow, not today.
Right, okay. On the show.
I'd rather be fair than compromise values. I'll die on that hill. Thank you, Bryce. I'll die on that hill.
I appreciate
what
someone.
goes around comes around, as people say. Yep, I'll die on that hill.
But
for
I
sure.
don't think you'll be dead real quick waiting for fairness in this society between this, because ultimately we know that the system is made up just to have us bickering amongst ourselves while the oligarch class controls all the resources and all of the power. And so, you know, I don't know if fair is the solution to that larger issue.
Yeah, they keep us fussing with one another.
That's right.
So should I start playing this?
Yeah.
Look, you know what's funny?
What?
I'm only 1 minute and 26 seconds in, and we've been on here for 46 minutes.
But you know what, Bryce? You have died for what you believe in, Bryce, and to die for what you believe in is an honorable death.
It sure is. What Dead Prez said, I'm ready to run up on the crackers in their city hall.
That's it.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin by fewer votes than Stein had received. In this campaign cycle, Democrats have fought to keep the Green Party off the ballot, while some supporters of Trump have helped Green Party with obtaining ballot access. Former Trump lawyer Jay Sekulow recently represented the Green Party in its efforts to be placed on the Nevada ballot at the U.S. Supreme Court. Stein, though, like Ralph Nader before her, has described her campaign as one taking on the two-party duopoly in the United States. Jill Stein joins us from Boston, and Butch Ware joins us from Santa Barbara, where he teaches at UC Santa Barbara about the history of Africa and Islam. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Let's start, Jill Stein, by you telling us why you're running for president. What does you see is most important right now?
Well, let's put it this way,
them silver
foxes are in
foxes.
crisis in virtually
You
every
already
dimension of
know,
our lives.
Isaiah.
Whether it's the healthcare crisis and not being able to afford your pharmaceuticals, some 8 million
You
Americans
already
are
know.
not able
They
to
look
afford
so
the
cute.
medications. 18 million were driven into poverty by the cost of healthcare in the last year for which data was available. Half of all Americans are struggling to keep a roof over their heads, severely economically stressed, trying to just pay their rent. You know, and we are spending half of our congressional dollars on the endless war machine, of which this genocidal war against Gaza is one example that the American people vehemently object to. The American people are calling for other options. You know, who is anyone to say they should be denied, and that the two zombie political parties that have so poorly served the American public are the only options? You know, democracy is about competition. The American people are begging for other options. They are entitled to know who those options are. It speaks volumes that the Democrats are pulling out all the stops, including fraudulent impersonations of the Green Party, hiring infiltrators and spies, which they have publicly advertised for, and hiring an army of lawyers, in their own words, to basically throw their competitors off the ballot, quite simply because they are terrified of actually meeting us in the court of public opinion and having a real debate about the crises that the American people face and the real solutions that we alone are putting on the table, from Medicare for all to free public higher education to rent control across the country to 15 million units of so-called social housing, which would meet our housing needs, cutting the military budget, and above all, ending the genocidal war on Gaza right now, which the American people overwhelmingly support. A near supermajority actually supports a weapons embargo right now. And with Israel expanding this war, not only into the West Bank, but also now into Lebanon, this is extraordinarily dangerous. And when we hear the Biden-Harris administration say that, oh, there's nothing they can do, their hands are tied, that's absolutely false. They can do like Ronald Reagan and simply make a phone call and instruct Israel that this genocidal assault is over.
She said a lot. She said
did.
a lot in 4 minutes, 3 minutes.
That's right. No, you know, you gotta be quick on TV now. It's all about pulling out a soundbite and making that your whole position. So you gotta really get it out. That's part of the reason our public discourse is so shaky, is because it's all on television. It's all like 10 seconds, trying to make a
Like little snippets.
yeah. I think that's why podcasts have sort of risen to their prominence, because you can get a real sense of someone with a 2-hour conversation. But she did say a lot of which I agree with. You know, health.
Are you voting green?
Well, voting is. I have the flexibility to acknowledge positions outside of my own ideological slant. You know, and a lot of what she said, I think. Our number one issue in this country is the war machine between the prison industrial complex and the military industrial complex. Those are the two sort of economic factors in our society. And interestingly enough, that started Harry Truman on his way out after he dropped the bomb, you know, made mention of that very thing. And here we are today seeing it in real time.
Mm-hmm. Our admin said, yes, it was at 1.25 speed because I don't want to get a hit from YouTube. Or was she just cooking? And she was cooking. So both are true. That's what's happening. Black Life says, I love how only family know my real name. Those who know her know she's Tasmit.
Keep the government.
So know her government name. It was a lot. So that's 3 minutes in. Should I just continue?
Well,
to the next, because we haven't even touched on Butch Ware yet.
Yeah, no, I think everything she said in that opening salvo, we all agree with here, probably.
Okay.
We could keep on keeping on.
Okay. So let's keep on keeping on then.
Jill Stein, I wanted to ask you, immigration and border enforcement become a key issue in this election. There's a raging national debate on it. How do you and your proposals differ from those of Donald Trump or Harris?
Yes, and indeed, we've seen Harris and the Democratic Party continue to march to the right, basically adopting the policies of Donald Trump. We have a very different approach. In our view, the most important thing that we can do to fix the crisis of migration is to stop causing it in the first place through regime change operations, through economic neocolonialism, domination, through the climate crisis, and through the war on drugs. There are things that we can do actually right now that will decompress the pressures that are pushing people to seek refuge at our borders. And that includes, on day one of our administration, we would legalize marijuana and undercut the power of the drug cartels to basically cause violence and wreak havoc on so many nations, particularly south of the border. We would not be overturning other democratically elected administrations, like, for example, the Aristide presidency of Haiti, which we overturned twice. And after doing that, the U.S., under Hillary Clinton's Secretary of State administration, went in and reversed a minimum wage law that had raised the minimum wage from a pathetic 30 cents an hour nearly to 60 cents an hour. And that was reversed by the power of the U.S. once we had overthrown the democratically elected government of Haiti. So, you know, it's no surprise with all the crises that the U.S. has been behind with our economic domination, our neocolonialism, our regime change operations, our war on drugs south of the border in particular, and also with our failure to actually take real concrete steps on the climate crisis. And that in turn is prompting so many millions of farmers to have to flee because they have no way of supporting themselves because of rampant drought and other climate instability. There's so much that we can do, not only to mitigate our own production of fossil fuels, which has skyrocketed actually under Democratic administrations, far more than it has under the Republican administrations, and which are not adequately addressed by the Inflation Reduction Act, which is more a fossil fuels first bill, if we have time to go into that. But we are not taking care of, the many solutions we could provide right now, which would decompress the crisis at the border. And the last thing to say here is that instead of spending billions of dollars on a wall, which only kills people, kills wildlife, destroys ecosystems, instead we can be investing those dollars into prompt screening, background checks, and to providing work papers for people promptly at the border. Because once migrants have crossed into this country and once they're papered and can work, they are an economic boon to any community and are worth trillions of dollars actually in economic development. Our communities would be competing for migrants rather than shutting them out if migrants were able to get to work. They not only pay their way, they actually contribute enormously to economic development and to the tax base of any community.
Pay your fare. Oh, she said so much. She said so much. God damn.
She did. A couple of things I want to push back on there.
Okay.
So in the idea of us looking at this system that we live in with two minds, both, in my sort of spiritual realm, I understand absolute truth and relative truth. Absolute truth is that divine relationship, right? And however you feed into that. And relative truth is sort of the physics of reality, right? Sure, I have a spirit and, it may not be recognized in the physical through the five senses, but also I'm a person of matter. So gravity impacts me. If I jump off a roof, I'm going to land and hurt myself, right? Two ideas in the same mind. With that sort of analogy, I talk about immigration, right? Our country, throughout its history, has been built on migrants coming, of course, sort of the original migrant being the colonialists and our disruption of the Native American. And we know the history and we go all the way to today, Irish, English, Italian, whatever, right? But now we have this new wave, right, in this particular time. And not each migration, I believe, can be judged on the same sort of scale of development.
Yeah.
That's right. And so this particular migration, I think, I would argue, has more of a detriment to, in particular, our folks who look like us than perhaps other migration patterns have had to that.
Because they got a new nigga.
Well, I would say economically because
they got a new nigga.
That's right. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it that way. I'm not.
I just be saying what I be feeling.
I think economically there is a new lower social class that is going to do the work.
Well, that's so sweet how you put it.
Well, I mean, we want to be.
Oh, can you say hello to Old Man Barker? He just came in the chat.
Old Man Barker, is that like Bob Barker?
I don't know. We'll let him tell us.
That's right. So, and I'll tell you another thing, right? Does anyone in the chat think Butch Ware should be running for president instead?
So I wanted you to finish your comment.
Okay.
And then I wanted to I want Michael, after he finishes his thought, I want to pull that up and discuss that, because that's a really interesting question.
Yeah. So just to, round it out, the idea that immigration, so in each iteration of immigration, right, the Irish were here, then the Italians come, the Italians undercut the Irish worker, right? Or the Chinese are here and they undercut the Irish worker. And so at every level of immigration, that next new wave that has come in has undercut that bottom, lower socioeconomic class, made it much more difficult for them. And that's what's happening right now. To
keep that up. You can keep that up, Michael. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So is that, but also the other end is they're willing to do stuff that a lot of us are not willing to do. And so there's sort of difficulty there, right? But I think, so yes, I'll be named as a libertarian, but really my political philosophy is I don't have permanent friends or permanent enemies. I only have permanent interests. And in the interest of our folks, that seems to be an undercutting.
Sean says, I wouldn't say that. I don't know what he's saying. He wouldn't say. But again, it's not the migrants' fault, though. And we always say this. I punch up. I don't punch down.
That's right.
I'm not gonna make migrants the fall guy.
No.
Because it's really the oligarchy. So he says that's the business. Don't make the migrants your enemy. They are not my enemy. They are my friend.
Well, I wouldn't say enemy. I'd say we're in a capitalist society, and the basis of capitalists is market competition. And so in the economic market, they compete for that lower end wage earner and they undercut. So yeah, I wouldn't call them enemies, but they definitely do pose a difficult competitive advantage for the lower wage earner, which is
and this is the advantage. Can we talk about the advantage? Okay, so the Koreans have an advantage in Black neighborhoods because they made a pact with the government to sell us beauty supplies.
Each ethnic entity has that relationship with the government.
The Arabs have the liquor stores.
Liquor stores, bodegas.
Yeah. What the niggas got?
Well, they've got economic power, which they choose to spend on these.
No, we don't. No.
Yeah, we do. We spend just as much, if not more, money in terms of consumption.
No, we consume, but we don't have an industry in a business.
Sure.
We don't have that.
We
don't have economics.
I don't disagree with you. We do not have an industry that we solely own.
Solely control. But they do. But and you know what these migrants about to do? These migrants about to get an industry that they going to control, and they starting off with their credit score is about to be pristine because they ain't got no credit here.
Sure.
And we gonna be left behind again.
We're already left behind. Let's keep it 100.
We already left behind.
Okay. And also, I would argue, while I don't disagree, we don't control an industry. I would argue.
Nahilo said a means of production.
That's right. We do not control any facet of any means of production to create economic tailwinds in our communities. And by and large, I would argue that's more our fault and responsibility than anyone else's. And I say that for two reasons. Number one is because we did once upon a time have control of a means of production coming out of the most difficult time any human has ever faced in the history of humanity, that emancipation from that slave trade, right? So our capabilities are there, but what we've done is we've traded in our ability to unify under that economic power for individual consumption and materialism.
I'm just gonna say, Martin Luther King fucked that up for us. I'm just gonna say it.
So I would argue Booker T. Washington kind of had a difficult time with that as well, right? He was the one between his ideology and W.E.B. Du Bois's ideology. E.B. Du
That's
Bois
very
was more
interesting that you say
entrepreneurial.
that.
Booker T. Washington was more about learn a trade, learn a skill, work for the man, and ingratiate yourself. And that
That's so interesting.
ideology still resonates.
That's so interesting you say that. Booker T the one who was that like? He was cooning
Wow.
in front of the white people, but the money he was making from cooning, he was like funneling into black organizations. Was that Booker T?
I wouldn't call him cooning. I would say in this country you gotta make alliances, and he was definitely making alliances, and he was the more. It's like Malcolm X and Martin Luther, right? They both had our best interests, but one of
At
them
heart.
appealing to the mainstream. And so Martin Luther King Jr. obviously got further along because he was more digestible to the mainstream. And Booker T was more digestible to the mainstream. And so his ideological slant for our folks was embraced, and it is today. So, right, more of our people will go out and try to get a job than they will go out and try to start a business. And that, in my mind, is the reason why we don't control a means to production, along with all of this economic stuff that prevents us from, starting a business to control the means of production, right? The redlining, the banks who won't lend to us, the social capital because not a lot of us have money, right? The credit and all of that other, the home ownership, the deconstruction of the family, all of those things.
That's a word. One of my friends, okay, we only 8 minutes in. It's a 30-minute video. but like my friend told me the other day, W.E.B. Du Bois was not a good person. I said, huh?
Well, did he know him personally?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Thank you.
Black Life says, so proud of you guys for your resilience. I love this podcast and the fam that supports us. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, what else? Sorry, Michael. Hope Isaiah joins the fam. Oh,
happy to be here. A long time coming.
I know.
Black Life.
I've been wanting you to come on for so long. It was supposed to be me and you.
That's
remember.
Right. For a long time.
For a long time, it was supposed to be me and you.
Well, we get on the phone and talk for 3 hours the same way, and nobody sees it.
And nobody hears it or sees it.
That's right.
Yeah, Sean. Okay, Sean. I know. I'm doing his job for him. Like, what the fuck? And he's so sweet. I'm just gonna bring him on. Look at this sweet face. Look how sweet. Look at this sweet face.
Let me I'm gonna turn my backlight on. It's getting a little dark here. And let me
It's such a sweet face.
Thank you.
And he always talk about we be sexualizing him.
Well, they always call me cute and stuff. It's like I don't know how to respond after a while.
Isaiah's adorable too.
Oh, hey, Snork, what's up?
Oh, Snorky's here. Hi, Snorky.
Yeah, your clicker is very loud, by the way.
No, it's super loud.
Oh, what you know what I was told? The click stays. Hello, Snorky. He's adorable too.
Hey, Snorky, how's it going? Y2K. I remember that my folks
He's
were.
he's come on the show before and given us his knowledge. He's very, very smart, very astute.
Outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Talented 10, that was W.E.B. Du Bois's ideology, right? The most talented amongst us must go out, create, bring that knowledge back to the rest of us and elevate. So all of those snorkies and all of us out there who are capable and willing, if we're about the collective growth of our ethnic diaspora here in this land, we got to go out and create and bring that back and elevate.
Snorky lying. He don't have an IQ. It got to be 170 at least. He lying. If he lying, he flying.
That's a high
Snorky, look, Snorky. What did it say? What did it say? Isaiah, if your black ass can't read this, read it. If you don't sit your black ass down somewhere before I what?
Meet your man.
Beat your ass.
You're gonna put that on a t-shirt, I guess.
I had a new one that I wanted to write down. Okay. Do we need to get back to this goddamn the title is Butch Ware and we ain't even got to his ass yet.
That's right. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Dr. Stein, I wanted to follow up as you were talking earlier about Gaza. This month, the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, published a poll that shows you are ahead of Kamala Harris among Muslim voters in key swing states like Michigan, Arizona, and Wisconsin. But yet the National Uncommitted Movement, which decided not to endorse any of the two major party candidates, also decided not to endorse any third party candidates. Wondering your response.
American and the Muslim American community is not simply uniform, but the CAIR polls were quite comprehensive. So uncommitted is a smaller subset of that larger community. And it's very clear what the sentiment of the larger community is. They're absolutely up in arms because so many of their family members have been killed. You know, people who have lost.
It's still her. We ain't seen Butch Ware yet.
Of family members. It would be a simple matter for the Democrats to recoup those votes if they wanted to, but it's more important to them to continue the genocide in Gaza than it is to win this election. And without the support of the Muslim vote, they will not win this election, and they cannot. So it's in their hands. They have the power to actually do what it would take to win back that very alienated and distraught vote, which is not coming to the Democrats as long as they continue to carry out this genocide. So it's on them. This is not something they can blame third parties on. They have lost that support, and the American people and the people of the world, you know, deserve an option which is actually consistent with the majority of American opinion, not just Muslim opinion, but the majority of American opinion and opinion around the world.
Is she lying?
No,
she ain't lying.
I don't think she's told a lie, to my knowledge, yet.
At all, not yet.
She's giving an opinion. Can you really lie in an opinion?
Wolfie's here. Hi, Wolfie.
Wolfie.
I love that I could call. No, you gotta call Steve. Wolfie is my name.
Oh.
You gotta call him Steve.
Steve Wolfbrand. Okay.
Steve Wolfbrand.
What's up, Steve?
Okay, look. Now read this one.
Shut your ass up.
Shut your ass up before I give you something to cry about. God damn. Black? What kind of black is you?
I was not the physical discipline in black. More the timeout today.
Oh, you had timeouts?
I was a timeout. You know, for my daughter, we were more about reason, conversation. I allowed a little latitude for her own expression. That's her life journey. I just was the guardrails. So I wasn't slapping or hitting or cursing or none of that.
Jacqueline says she actually got most of it, and she a older white lady, and she knew it. So what the fuck is going on with you?
Nobody accused me of being the blackest black. Blackity black.
We not a monolith.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, Steve said his friends call him Wolfie, so you can call him Wolfie too.
I'm part of the Wolf Clan. Matter of fact, that's right. We the Wolf Clan, my mother's side. So I'm with you, Wolf Brand.
Yeah, I know your mama. Your mama is a G.
Yeah.
I know that for real.
You would have gotten that right away. Shut your ass up. That's right. Something.
Before I give you something to cry about.
Right. You crying? Now, I give you something to cry about.
My mama never really did that to me, but I had aunts. I had aunts who was like, if you don't sit your motherfucking ass down.
No, right.
But my mama was always real super sweet.
Yeah.
She never cussed me. I never heard a curse word out of her. None of that.
Yeah, my mom's was the opposite, but my father was not that. So he was more of a conversationalist. He give you the eye and the look straightens you up. Mom, she went.
That's all I needed. All I needed was a look.
That's all right. Mom, Dukes go.
My cousin said, if you don't spank them when they little, then you gonna have to beat their ass when they teenagers. I said, what? You got that gentle parenting shit? That ain't it.
Well, you know,
you gotta if a child hit me at 2 years old and 3 years old, I'm hitting their ass back.
But
I'm not gonna hit them hard, but I'm gonna hit them enough so they know this shit don't feel good.
Well, you know,
saying that's just me.
You know, particularly our Black children, right? The corporal punishment as it relates to later years as an adult, that violent strain, that I think we're creating a perpetual cycle that's sending our kids off the wrong, down the wrong road. But who am I to tell parents how to parent, right?
Because I don't have no kids. Because I yeeted the fetus.
Yeah. Come on now.
That's me.
I don't think we can be beating our kids. I don't think it serves our children.
No. Nobody said beat your kids. I never said that. Did you hear me say that?
Well,
I said you spank them when they're young, so you don't have to beat them when they old. So when you set the boundary at a young age, then they grow up with an understanding. So all you got to do is give them the eye, and they already know what the fuck to do and how to move around.
My father
never.
He gave me the eye, and I straightened up. My mother beat the living heck out of me any chance she got, and I still had in my earlier years, I was a different kind of guy, So I don't know, but science says that children who are disciplined by physical punishment.
Wait, how long did your mom spank you?
Well, until I got too big and I could catch the belt and take it away, right? So
how long? So what age is that?
I probably was like 12 or 13 when I wasn't having it no more, So from
she was really spanking like
what? Are you kidding me? I don't want to put her on blast. I love her. You know, we got a great
I know
relationship.
you love your mama. I know you love your mama. I know that for sure.
With discipline, but she learned that from her father, right? And so this is what we're saying, right? We're perpetuating this cycle of things that we learned from a past generation that's not serving our collective community's best interest. Her father went hard on her.
There's a difference between discipline and abuse, and that's what Rondo says. And Nahilo says spanking can get out of hand. It can, but it didn't get out of hand for me. Oh. Like my parents spanked me when I was young.
Sure.
And then by 12 or 13, sounds like you were still on some shit. By that time, I had learned my lesson.
I think so. Okay.
The hard part is, oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm just trying to read this. Sean says, the hard part is anger. If you punish with anger, it can easily turn to abuse.
I agree with that.
Okay.
And so
y'all could talk about that.
Not to put her on blast, but really, what is the lesson, right? If I'm a child who has inquisitiveness or a curiosity or an exuberance, right, or whatever. I'm in the store and I see it now. I'm in the store. Kids are kids. They got imagination. They're running around. They want to be energetic. And it's like, get over here. Be quiet. Sit down. That is not about the child's inappropriate behavior. That's about what that behavior is.
That's about a child just being a child.
Okay, but we're beating our children for that. And we're telling them to set up and sit down and don't be embarrassed.
No, I didn't get beat for that. No.
Well,
I didn't get beat for being a child. I got beat for no, I didn't get beat. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. I got spanked. But it wasn't for being a child. I was allowed to be a child. Mm-hmm. And to have as much fun as I needed to have. Mm-hmm. I got spanked when I was doing too fucking much.
Okay, what does doing too much look like as a child?
Doing too goddamn much. I was doing too fucking much. I know I was doing too much. As a 47-year-old, looking back, I know I was doing too fucking much.
Okay.
I wasn't.
I got whipped with a belt with whelps, and I couldn't sit down in class for days. And then my great aunt, who looked out for me when my mom's was at work,
I never got that. No.
And then you get to switch to reinforce the beating, right? So like what? And what did I do? After school, took a little longer because I'm walking home with my friends, and
you can keep that up. Keep talking.
Parents don't want
I was just telling the admin to keep that up so I can read it.
Rondo,
but go ahead.
I want to drill down on what Rondo says because my mother, God bless her, I love her. This is exactly the thing that herself, she admits to now that she wasn't able to recognize at the point where she was, sort of that matriarchal parent with that responsibility. A lot of what she was doing was learned behavior from her household. And so she had no other way to cope or parent, right? That didn't make it right. That didn't mean I was being extra. That means that's the only way she learned how to parent. And that's what she did. It was wrong. It's not appropriate. And scientifically, the science proves that it's detrimental to our growth and development. Now, I had a balance because my father wasn't that, and his wife, who's my other mother, wasn't that. So, I had sort of a balance, and, I love them all. But because of exactly what Rondo is saying, we are learning in our homes this ill way, this inappropriate way of parenting our children, and we're calling it the proper way because we learned it from the generation before us, but they learned it from another generation, and it's really not in the best interest of the spiritual, mental, emotional development of our children, which in my mind, the responsibility.
I never grew up like that. I never had that.
Well,
so that's interesting to me.
but
what I did have emotional abuse. My father, he took my dog and put the dog in. The dog was, so he didn't have a regular trash can. So the dog would get into the trash bag, as a dog should, because that's what a dog does. And so my dad would tie him into the trash bag and beat him with a belt in front of me. So my father never put his hands on me, but that was emotional abuse.
Well, far be it from me to take away from your experience. But what I would say, and I'm not trying to justify what your father did, I wasn't there and I could not. But if I've had, we're animal folks. My father is a heavy animal person. And that may be crossing the line. Perhaps it could be argued. But if you have a dog that pees in the house or poops in the house, it was not uncommon to take that dog's nose, put him in it, and give him a couple whacks.
Oh, I do that. Yeah, I do that now.
Right? So
if a dog poops in the house, I put their nose in it to let them know, like, what the fuck are you doing?
It could well have been your father's motivation in training that dog to go to that extreme. And because you as a child witnessed it, felt an emotional abuse. I don't know your pops, but I would say it's unlikely, in my opinion, that he was doing it specifically to abuse you emotionally.
I think so. I think he was trying to control me emotionally at the same time.
You were there, so and how you experience it is ultimately the reality of it.
Yeah, whatever. We ain't even got to Butch Ware. The title of the show is
Jack made some really good points there.
Sean said back to Butch.
That's right. We can get back to it.
I love this. I love this for us because this is what we were supposed to be doing anyway.
That's right.
Like 6 or 7 months ago.
That's right.
All right. So here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
Before you selected Butch Ware as your running mate, several high-profile Palestinian and Arab rights activists said they were approached by your team, including Abed Ayoub, the director of the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, and Palestinian-American lawyer and Professor Noura Erakat. Professor Erakat tweeted, I offered to join Ticket if they would be willing to concede the election if Dems deliver on permanent ceasefire and arms embargo. The idea being use Stein's margin in 3 swing states to compel those concessions. If we truly believe the Dems would never concede, then there's nothing to lose. It also makes clear to those eager to throw Palestinians, Arab Americans, and American Muslims under the bus that if they lose to Trump, they are the source of their own loss. The Green Party rejected this as they're accountable to their broader base and the health of their party. I understand that, but my priority in this moment is doing everything we can to end genocide by using all the leverage we have, Professor Noura Erakat said. Your response to that, Dr. Stein?
Yes. Let me say
we
that
still ain't got the Butch
in Gaza is not a quick fix.
Why don't
In
you hop
the words
along?
of Frederick Douglass, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and it never
Is
will.
he coming
The Green
on?
Party is here to continue to exert that pressure. Simply extracting a promise before an election is a very precarious thing to do. The Democrats might agree for a period of a week, and then they might find, oh, circumstances made us go back to continuing this war. So you really do not want to unilaterally disarm in this kind of situation. It would be extremely ineffective. More power to Nora Ericott for being the powerhouse voice that she is. Some of us have been, shall we say, in the political game for quite some time and have had time to observe how these various strategies do and don't work. And extracting a simple concession without, without a permanent guarantee is a very risky proposition, especially because as an independent third party, the obstacles to gaining ballot status are so enormous that if you simply lay down your arms and you give up on the race, you lose your ballot status, and you lose it across the board in a way that you will not gain it back. By continuing to run for office, we may.
So she's talking about the fact that they have to run every 4 years or they lose ballot access.
Yeah.
That's what she's talking about.
No.
So
for
I
sure.
just wanted to point that out, and then I'll go back. If you want to say something, you can say something.
No. That's good.
Okay. All right.
Maintain our ballot status, and we are able to continue to apply pressure against this very reckless and dangerous empire, which is a problem not only in Gaza, but throughout the Middle East and around the world. We're currently engaged right now in 2 hot wars on the verge of going nuclear, and another third Cold War on the verge of becoming hot.
Let me ask you another question.
It doesn't make sense to surrender on it all.
I'm just hurrying because we don't have that much time, but New York Democratic Congressmember Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was asked in a recent Instagram Live about voting for the Green ticket in November. This is what she said.
What I have a problem with is the fact that if you are running for president, you're the
Congressmember Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
First of all, look at them silver foxes. You
Get yourself.
you already know.
you already. Look at you.
You already know. I can't keep myself.
Look at you.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going ahead.
Voting for the Green ticket in November. This is what she said.
In that way, right?
with is the fact that if you are running for president, you're the
Oh, I
de facto
can't
leader of your
stand
party.
her.
And first of all, trust me on this. I run as a third party candidate in New York. I'm also run as a working families party candidate in addition to running as a Democrat. Because trust me, I've been on record that about my criticisms of a 2-party system. So this is not about that. But you are the leader of your party. And if you run for years and years and years and years and years in a row, and your party has not grown, and you don't add city council seats, and you don't add down ballot candidates, and you don't add state electeds, that's bad leadership. And that to me is what's upsetting. And all you do is show up once every 4 years to speak to people who are justifiably pissed off, but you're just showing up once every 4 years.
First of all, this bitch. First of all, can we talk about it a little bit?
That's
This
sped up.
bitch.
Right? Not her, actually. You did speed that up a little bit, right? I'm just wondering.
Oh, it's on 1.25, so we don't get a YouTube strike.
Okay. Go ahead. You were saying?
I was saying that this bitch, she getting on my goddamn nerves. First of all, you acted like you were just a bartender. You fucking lying. You work for Ted Kennedy. You about this life. You were groomed to be here, and then you told us you was just a bartender, and you told us if I would just be a one-time, if I'm just a one-time representative, and I do what I need to do, that's good enough. But bitch, you've been here for 4 years.
She gonna be here.
And yeah, and you okay with genocide, and you going to a correspondence dinner with a dress talking about taxes, girl. Like, I don't know what the ratchet effect is. Like, I don't know what benign neglect is. Or like, you are playing in my fucking face.
You're surprised that they're not.
I'm sorry, I got too loose.
Nah, you know, I'm surprised you're shocked that not completely,
I got too loose.
you know, above board, right? They tell a story, right? That's what it is. They tell a story.
Yeah, the world is a stage.
That's it. That's it. We're all performing, right? So why be upset with it? You know what it is. And
you know what it is.
You know.
But she tried to act like she was like the everyday human being, like us. They ain't like us. What Kendrick Lamar said, they ain't like us. They ain't like us. They ain't like us.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know none of them personally. I make no assumptions. And
shit, I'm just 15 minutes in, and we still ain't even seen Bruce Ware.
Oh, keep going then. Keep going.
Okay.
You know, and she is what it is, right? She just she's self-indulgent.
She just a. Don't worry about her. We just gonna blow past that.
That's right.
Fuck her.
For you to do that, you're not serious. You're not.
She's not serious.
It does not read as authentic. It reads as predatory.
So that's New York Democratic Congressmember Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez.
Ken,
Dr. Jill Stein, your response.
Hold on, let me just.
So first of all, we don't.
Right, predatory. That's hyperbole. I think that's sort of victimization, hyperbole, using that sort of statement. But I will say that she does make a point in that, given our conscious movement away from the two-party system, given so much of the ESG and the environmental awareness and all of that sort of stuff, it seems reasonable to think the Green Party would be able to capture some of those new those new people searching for new political identity. And if, I don't know that they have or have not, if that party has not grown over the last 2 election cycles, like I didn't vote in Hillary Clinton situation, I didn't vote in Biden situation. We'll see what happens here. So that's 2 election cycles. So if the party hasn't been able to grasp some of those discontented two-party people, some of those champions for environmental awareness and the like, then it could be argued that that is either an absence of leadership or an absence of inspiration, which comes from leadership. So on that point, I don't necessarily.
Hold on, Mama. You need something?
I said I'm going for a walk.
A walk?
Yeah.
In the dark?
Yeah, Jacqueline, you're right. Predatory. That's
Mom, it's
I think for just
it's 6:37.
The newspaper.
It's getting dark outside.
I'm gonna go outside.
Okay, can you take the can you go in? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you go in the den and get the bat?
We're gonna mute Abby Do while she talks to Mom. But yes, Jacqueline, I'm with you. That inflammatory hyperbole language, that's TV talk. They do that so that they can raise their public profile, because the word predatory is an inflammatory word that's going to get, that.
May I just I'm sorry to cut you off. May I just start playing some and just go check on my mom? I don't know what the fuck she doing.
Yeah, you want to?
Oh, yeah.
Go with us? No.
Yeah, Michael can come on stage. You could talk to him.
Hey, there.
Yeah, we'll continue to play the video and get to it.
Actually, I think Abby's the one who had the video.
Oh, Abby's got the video.
Yeah, she wants to hit play before she leaves.
Nah, because then she won't be able to stop it, and then she's got to deal with mom. And
Well,
so,
I'm asking, do you want me to play the video or do you all just want to talk? I just need 5 minutes.
If you
Let's-
just play, if you just play the video, we'll get it to Butch Ware, and you go check on it, and then
Okay.
or whatever Isaiah wants to do.
what happens if Butch Ware comes and she's not back? Then the video is just going to continue to play.
All
I think
right,
we should not play the video, and we'll just converse amongst us. So,
good point.
Y'all, okay, so he just wants to converse with you, it sounds like.
Go ahead. Take care of your mom. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so what's up?
Yeah. Michael, welcome to the combo. We're just listening to a lot of what Jill Stein was saying. Any thoughts you have on any of what you've heard there and her remarks?
I've been kind of listening to Jill Stein off and on again, like every couple of days kind of thing. So you start to hear the sort of the same kind of talking points. I'm a Canadian, so my perspective on what's going on there is kind of moot to some degree. Although I think, like Jacqueline said earlier, at some point, whatever does happen with this election, it will affect everyone around the world. So as much as we don't have a dog in the fight, we kind of do have some skin in the game anyway. So
that's right. That's exactly right. We are interglobally connected, and the the dollar dominance does affect all parts of the world. Although there is a movement happening right now that's sort of attempting to undermine that dollar dominance. I think in terms of AOC, Jacqueline makes a great point about the inflammatory language, or that the use of the words, right? And words in particular can be very tricky. The words we use to describe a thing. Earlier, we sort of played with the nuance of what was it? Spoiler versus disruptor.
right.
Same in the spirit of the terms we use, they are meant to have the same meaning, ultimately to move away from the two-party thing. But one term can invoke more feeling, more whatever it is, anger, animus, whatever.
Well, by casting the Greens as predators, they're trying to sort of say like they're a grifter party. They're not really in it to win it.
That's right.
But that's very disingenuous. And I think people tend to think of election cycles. They don't think of it as a cycle. They think of it as like one election at a time. And for the Greens, if they or any independent like the Libertarians too, to get past that 5%, it's really a multi-election kind of strategy. They need to earn enough in this election to have a real leverage for next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to see, and Sean, you're right. They were the usurpers. That's right. Or if you were in, I don't know, India, Africa, they were colonialist invaders, But I agree with you there. And interestingly enough, I get around a lot. My business takes me around the country a good bit, and it's rare that I see Green Party. Even Libertarian, right? I've got to you got to wade through the grass to find folks who will even say out loud. Most of the two-party folks are wearing it proud. They've got their stand, their marketing in their lawn. They've got their bumper stickers, but a lot of the other parties, rarely do I see their paraphernalia, their marketing material prominently placed on any of their public profiles. And maybe that's a part of it.
They try to keep us in the closet, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the strategy for the duopoly. So.
Yeah, that's right. That is exactly right. Let's see, what do we got?
Jacqueline's got, even if the Greens don't realistically expect to win, it's worth it for them to campaign just to change the political conversation.
100%.
I think they've done that this time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with Jacqueline wholeheartedly. I think really sure, there's going to be Is it likely that a third party in this generation will win a presidential election? Not likely. But like I was saying earlier, the need to pull away from that two-party system, I think, is important. So we got to continue to support. Like Abby Dual called me a libertarian, and so
No, you said that. You said yourself you were a libertarian.
so
I don't call you that. That's what you said.
No, I don't disagree with you. Yet, given the structure of our political system, and when you have to identify with one thing or another, that is what aligns with my ideology the closest, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
That
people
doesn't
have
mean I
this,
agree with
they don't
all.
like labels, right?
Okay.
And Reef from
And that's fine.
he often says labels are bad, right?
Labels are terrible, and I'm
And Michael is you're like a Marxist,
Yeah, but I've
right?
also over the past few years, I've come to understand what is beneficial about using, like what's advantageous about using the label or Marxist, and what is actually kind of flawed as to trying to describe yourself as that. Because I'm cult of personality stuff, and then
Yeah.
it sounds like I kind of fall for that particular cult to a lot of people who don't understand that's not what I mean when I say Marxist. Right?
You got to
I might have to leave because I don't know what my mom's doing.
Oh,
she's never done this before.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're taking care of her. So
yeah, I don't know. It's hard because you want to give them their independence.
Yeah.
But then also, protect them.
No.
I don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Going for a walk in the middle of the night like that's not.
Yeah, where are you going? she said she's taking a walk. So I gave her a flashlight bat.
I agree with Sean.
So
Sean said you could just go on a walk with her if you have to. That'd be the simplest solution, I think.
That's right. I mean,
yeah, maybe.
We've done an hour 45. We didn't get to Butch Ware, but we've had really good conversation, in my opinion.
I know.
Perhaps,
we ain't even get to Butch Ware.
No, we did not.
That's crazy work.
Yeah.
Go make sure Rondo, thank you. I don't want to make her feel like I'm just like hovering over her because she gets mad when I do that.
She don't want a helicopter mom.
Right.
Mom.
You're right. So I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have.
It's just with dementia, you're just gonna at some point that you're in an untenable situation in the long term. That's eventually this strategy is not going to be able to go forward anymore. I had my grandfather with Alzheimer's, and so it was a very similar situation. But it was my parents who were in charge of dealing with it, and I was a teenager at the time, so I was grateful that I didn't have that much responsibility on my hands. But I would have, if my dad gets that Alzheimer's, if something ever happens to my mother, I would have that sort of be confronted with that choice,
It's a difficult choice for sure. You may have to not let her see you, but be behind her. Like she's 20 yards ahead and you're just sort of peeking in, following her, but she don't see you. Independent.
I did go to I went to a support group for people who have people with dementia, and I don't consider my mom having dementia yet. They say I'm in denial. So I was like, I let her drive wherever she want to drive, and they said, well, you need to drive. You need to let her drive, and you watch her drive and see. So I did it. That motherfucker went every which way but the right way. I couldn't believe, we were supposed to turn left, she was turning right. I said, "Where the fuck you going?
Yeah,
We
she's
supposed
gonna
to be
get
going
lost.
this way." And then when we got to the street that we were supposed to turn right, she hit left again. I said, "What the fuck is you doing?" I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh, this is what they trying to tell me to do. This is what they telling me." You
How,
got to look at it.
aside from
Oh,
going the
God.
wrong direction, was she operating the vehicle safely?
Oh, she was. She just couldn't figure out where the fuck she was going.
Okay.
But she was operating the vehicle safely.
Okay.
She may
just
still have a year or so. Or
she
two.
just had no idea where she was going.
Sure. Difficult, for sure. Very, very difficult.
Sean said, my grandmother on my father's side has dementia. It is so rough. I spent part of my young life with her. He don't even know me now.
Completely
Damn.
forget.
Yeah.
Part. And then
It's real fucked up.
This part too.
And the anger and violence is on a level never seen before. So that's really interesting because a lot of people, my mom really nice. So she not really mean to me. So I don't feel the anger part, but in that support group I go to, they make mention about how they get abused by these dementia people. But I don't see that because my mama really nice. I don't know. What Wolfie say?
Oh, he said that his mom died.
My mom died from Alzheimer's. The first time was she forgot her way to drive home. Wolfie, they keep telling me like that I need to take the keys away from my mama, and I'm just trying not to.
Soon though, I've been saying, you've heard me over the past few months telling you at some point.
I know. You've been telling me that it's time to take the keys away. My brother said it. Like everybody say it to me.
You're gonna regret it if something happens. This is what people are trying to avoid, I think, right?
From my understanding,
Wolfie said his mom never got angry. See, my mom is super nice still. Sorry, Isaiah.
No.
Go ahead.
No, it's nothing.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, so from what I know of you personally, and we go way back as we've mentioned, you accepted the responsibility of this undertaking, and in accepting that responsibility, you shoulder the burden of difficult choices, and to just attempt to avoid those choices or prolong those choices simply because you may not be able to muster yet the spirit or the internal whatever to make that hard choice. Like Michael's saying, don't let procrastination or tragedy be the thing that forces you to choose. It's rather to, in my opinion, make those hard choices for the betterment early than to let tragedy make the choice for you later on.
I'm really trying to just make sure she has her independence as long as she can. That's all I'm doing. Abby, you might see some of that aggression, but it might be worth it for the sake of her safety. Jacqueline. And Jacqueline, you're an older person, right? So if you telling me that how old are you, Jacqueline?
Oh, can't put her on
Blast?
for
I'm
public.
putting on blast.
Is that information for public consumption? Yeah, that's come on now.
What? I'm 47.
Well,
I'm 40. I'm 47.
but listen.
Okay, y'all can't say y'all age.
But
The
I already I prefer riding my bike if I drink a lot and smoke a lot. It's just easier for me to not go there, right? It's
I'm
not
47. I'll be 48 in April of next year.
Somebody somewhere told
What's the hard part? Sean say he 41. Oh, Jacqueline's 60.
It's something we should all worry.
And
We're all only human.
I worry about it too. Yeah. Because I don't have kids. I don't know if you have kids, Jacqueline, but I don't have children. And I'll be wondering who the fuck gonna take care of me when I get old. Bryce is 40. He'll be 41 soon.
That young something out there who likes silver foxes.
Sean, yes. I love that silver fox. Ooh, if you give me a gray hair, I'm on it.
His birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, Rondo, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
You got the same
Happy birthday. Get it, Isaiah. Birthday.
Happy birthday, Rondo.
Happy birthday. You already know.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
So what you gonna do? You gonna go get with mom? We gonna discontinue this thing, or
no? My mom was fine. Okay. She already done.
Okay.
Wait, who? What? Price 41. What? What's that say? Price 41.
41.
The new 53. Oh Lord.
That's what I like to say. 30 is the new middle age. You know.
That's crazy. Okay. So let me finish it because we ain't even seen the VP. Shit.
Yeah,
it's this white woman.
In, so maybe we should get wrapping up shortly, or do you want to play up a bit more? And I don't know how long you guys want to.
I'm playing up a bit more.
You might have to just skip to it, like just jump all the way to it.
I'm gonna jump out.
I'm trying to figure out what
is the media coverage. And I'm sorry,
see.
you know, if you're only tuned into mainstream media
and
believe the
I'm jumping.
Labor.
Damn. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go.
Professor, can you tell us why you decided to join the Green Party and run as a vice presidential nominee?
Yeah, when tagged into the fight by my sister soldier, Dr. Jill Stein, it was an easy decision to make. I had conducted an Instagram Live with her on my social media platform. I asked Dr. Jill about reparations after having recently posted a video of Kamala Harris where she hemmed and hawed and shucked and jived for 2 full minutes and then said the exact words, "I will never do anything that only helps Black people." So when I asked Dr. Jill Stein about the question of reparations, she said they behave as though it's incalculable, but it's been calculated many times. It's between $10 and $13 trillion US, and I am in.
Okay, sorry. Boom. All right, I'm gonna just press play. Ba-boom.
Favor of cash payments. When I asked Dr. Jill about her resistance to this genocide in Gaza, I said that all of my colleagues in the activist and academic communities that are Palestinian liberation, not just advocates, but people that live this, breathe this, have skin in the game and have suffered, they were all voting for Dr. Jill Stein. So I didn't actually ask Dr. Jill about her support for Palestine. I'd seen her arrested at a pro-Palestine, a Free Palestine rally. I asked her about her overall foreign policy. And when I asked her about her overall foreign policy, her response was to say the approach of the Green Party is to dismantle the American empire. And I said in that interview, as a lifelong committed student of and exponent of and teacher of the Black radical tradition, yeah, and you better hurry up and do it.
Okay, boom again. I want to destroy the empire. Don't you?
Me, do I want to destroy the empire? No, I do not.
Oh, Lord.
What is the empire?
Well, we can agree to disagree.
Well, I think it's important to clarify what do you mean by the empire, right? Because I live in the American Republic. So what is the empire? Is the empire the military-industrial complex and the oligarchical complex that controls our media, our resources, our consumption, material behavior? That, sure, I think that should be dismantled. But to completely destroy the American Republic, and the idea of
no, are you aware that the Constitution was supposed to be rewritten every 19 years?
No, I'd not heard that, but that, you know,
you can Google it.
Well, sure.
Thomas Jefferson said the Constitution was supposed to be rewritten every 19 years so old people wasn't having domain over young people, so young people could continue the United States of America.
Okay, so a couple things there. First, if that was the case, it is not happening now. So I find that just to be sort of a point of discussion simply for, you know, debate. But the reality is right now, as American nationals do not exist under the constitutional protections under the common law protections that the Constitution was meant to protect against. So I think the whole constitutional rewriting thing is a moot point. America is a corporation, and we, or y'all, not me personally, most of y'all exist under the citizenship status, which is a statutory contractual relationship instituted by Roosevelt during this New Deal contract. And that's the big quiet. I mean, it's not a secret. Lots of people are talking.
The quiet part out loud.
Yeah. So, you know, what's the empire? Is the empire that statutory relationship between its citizens and the American corporation that's funded by the UK and the what's that holy building out there? The I forget, the Catholics. It's sort of totally escaping me. Damn, I can't even believe that. Just it's right there on the tip of my tongue. The Pope, Catholics.
Oh, the Vatican?
The Vatican. There you go. Man, that just escaped.
Okay.
So
that's okay. It happens to me too.
Yeah. That's my early onset dementia's coming.
Look, Rondo, peace, fam. He said the Vatican.
Nice.
And so did Jacqueline. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is if that is the empire that Mr. Ware is referring to destroying, yes, I'm about that life, because we are not in the we're not in the intended relationship that the American Republic was built on today. We're in a new relationship with our government. And that relationship has totally, to use Rondo's word, usurped our power and given it completely to the government, and we are just essentially, I don't want to be harsh, but or use hyperbole, but really we're just their debtor slaves.
So may I read some stuff from the chat? Nahilo, can you pull it up? Okay, so Nahilo says the empire, US dollar hegemony, and all of the things they do to sustain it.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that. If I'm pronouncing that right, Nihilo. But that's
Nahilo.
Nahilo.
Mm-hmm.
Nahilo. Mm-hmm. Fair point, because the U.S. dollar in association with the Federal Reserve is sort of that part of that economic power. But that's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That's get rid of it all. I don't. Then we're living in chaos and anarchy.
But Nahilo, you're doing too much, because then we got to bring up the BRICS monetary system, and that's a whole nother goddamn discussion.
Yeah, BRICS is. They're making great headway.
Starkey says break the reparation. I can't see. Break the Can you see it?
Yeah. Snorky says break the reparations up by cause, or the payments will be taken away before they are received. Look for lawyer clauses. I'm not sure what.
I'm not sure what he means, but first of all, we were promised 40 acres and a mule. We gave this country free labor for how many years?
Free labor was taken. I wouldn't say we gave it.
Yeah, it was taken. It was taken.
That's for sure.
For how many years?
Since the early 1700s.
And then they promised us 40 acres and a mule.
Well,
and then we never got it. So fuck you. I don't give a goddamn who doesn't like what I have to say, white or black. I want my goddamn I want what was promised to my people. My daddy, my daddy's daddy, my mama's daddy.
I agree with that, bro.
My mama's mama, my daddy's mama. I want my shit.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the reason why we didn't receive that is in two parts, both because the Freedmen Bureau was a complete sort of failure, and also Democrats, right? Because we were Republicans back then, and it was Democrats who came in and did the backroom dealing that eventually completely completely dismantled the Freedmen's Bureau, which was the sort of bureaucratic engine to help us cycle out of emancipation and into society, right? So you're a Democrat today and you upset about not getting reparations, but it was Democrats who did it to you, you in a little bit of a conflict, I would say.
A lot of bit of a conflict. A lot of it.
And also, in Republicans, you're in a lot of bit of a conflict too, because all of the work that freed slaves had done politically coming out of emancipation, all of those South Carolina and Georgia congressional seats and Senate seats, those people were black and they were Republicans. So
what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, so thank you, Michael. So the calculation, Jacqueline says the calculations of, can you read it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll read it.
I can't see.
The calculations for how much reparations will come to have administration costs been factored in? Oh, she's asking, I guess, have administration costs been factored in? This is not a criticism of the pro-reparations argument, by the way.
It's trillions of dollars.
Well, what she's asking is, are there administrative costs, right? Because similar to the sort of donation patriarchal system, right? When you donate $100, 35 or 40 of those dollars go to administration costs, and then maybe
that shit fake. That shit fake.
So I guess she's asking, of those 10 to 13 trillion dollars in reparations calculations, how much of that will be administrative costs?
Oh, is she asking like if it was given to a nonprofit association, you know, how they give administrative costs?
Sure.
They scam and take most of the money.
and
then fickle down the rest. I think is that what she asking?
I think she's asking, in general, have administration costs been factored into the disbursement of funds for reparations? That's how I read the question. And I don't know the answer to that, but I do know, aside from, you know, everybody got COVID payments and they were put out there as unemployment payments, reparations payments would not, in my mind, be paid out as unemployment. And because they're only going to a certain ethnic block, the government itself would likely have to contract a third-party vendor that would handle the administrative disbursement of those funds to the individuals that they
Michael, keep going.
So
I know you see more. Thank you.
At Rondo Ellsworth, I actually don't know, is this the establishment business in London? Oh, that's Jacqueline and Rondo.
Yeah, keep going.
So yeah, in terms of Jacqueline's question, administrative costs, likely, I don't know. I couldn't say. I don't keep up on the reparations conversation. I'm making my own reparations simply through my drive and knowledge. And
fuck that. I want my reparation. I want it. I want my shit. I want my 40 acres and my fucking mule. I want it.
Well, you know,
and I deserve it.
Do you?
Because yes.
Why do you?
Because it was promised to my great grandfather. It was promised.
How many promises have been kept in life? And do we bank
Fuck that?
Future on
fuck that. I want it. If you could send I don't know how many billions of dollars they sent to Ukraine, how many billions of dollars they sent to Israel, and you can't give me what is due to me, bitch, fuck you. I want my shit, and I deserve it.
Well, Rondo says getting reparations would be nice, but I'm convinced that the economy would collapse before they would do that. Yeah, it's going to be
because they don't care about us. It's benign neglect. Google it. Benign neglect. The Congress made a decision that they would not do shit for Black people. Benign neglect.
Okay, so I don't disagree with the benign neglect. Yet I will say we have our own capacity to do for ourselves. And when we become, in our minds, dependent on the state to provide for that which we can provide for ourselves, then we're being neglectful to our own ambition and promise. And I don't agree with that.
Rondo says getting reparations would be nice, but I'm convinced that the economy would collapse before they would do that. Why are you convinced of that when they didn't send so much money to Ukraine, so much money to Israel. Why are you convinced if they would just give us reparations, then the economy collapse?
No, what he's
That
saying
don't
is
make
he's not saying that by giving the money it would collapse. He's saying that, in my mind, how I'm reading it is he's
okay.
saying they would rather see the economy collapse before giving us the money.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yes,
Because
Jacqueline,
they don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us.
okay, Abby, do you got to catch up with the combo here?
I'm just saying they don't like us.
I
But Isaiah,
agree with that.
but Isaiah, every time that Black people have provided wealth for themselves, hasn't it
Been torn down by white
been
people.
okay?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
They either make a lake out of the community, or they got a white woman that claim that some Black man whistled at her or some shit, and then they burn the goddamn town down. Isaiah, you know.
I don't, yeah, certainly those things historically have happened in a time when it was a lot easier to have a lynch mob or a mob pulled together and do that sort of thing. But in
Isaiah,
my postmodern world,
Isaiah,
let me
I can show you three. I could pull up three events where a Black man was lynched in 2024. I'm telling you.
Okay, but that's one
in the South.
thing, but that's one person we're talking about, or you're referring to, or you're going to show me three, maybe show me 20, show me 100, show me 1,000. The point is, in today's modern technological economy and society, we as a voting bloc diaspora are capable of generating our own independent of the state providing for us. That's my point. And yeah,
And this is why I love you, because we don't always agree, because I'm not agreeing with you on this shit.
What is it you don't agree with me exactly on? The fact that we are capable of creating our own economic wealth?
No.
Okay.
The fact that they are capable of using white supremacy to continue to pull us down. So Myra Page, oh sweet baby, I just have to say this. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Myra Page, because that's a new person.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Hello.
It's good to see you.
Myra Page.
It's good to see you.
Exempt Black people from paying taxes.
Mama, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
We rescued by
Okay, my mama okay. All right.
I don't know, Abby, when is it going to be the time? So we talked about it earlier. There is no fairness.
Wait. I wanted to read this real quick before you. So Jacqueline says, I think a Black man was lynched during the UK riots and had to be rescued by the police, which is ironic when you think about it. So Isaiah, there have been at least 3 Black men lynched in the last fucking month.
Yeah.
In the South.
Tragic. Terrible.
Tragic. Terrible.
Criminal. Terrible. Tragic. Definitely.
And then white people try to tell us we ain't got nothing to worry about. Why are we making it a black or white thing? If you don't shut the fuck up, or we don't see color. Well, if you don't see color, then why you got a white Jesus? If you don't see color,
We know
and
that.
you know that Jesus was a brown man,
And we also
but you don't see color. Nigga, shut up. Look, Nahilo said because white people don't get lynched. Why are we getting lynched?
tell that to the Serbians.
In 2024. What the fuck is happening?
And you think reparations
In
is going to solve that?
Mississippi? Well, I want my motherfucking money. I want to get paid for the labor
That's
that my my ascendants work for. I want to get paid for my labor. Pay your fare.
well, it wasn't your labor. Not
Okay,
you.
so fucking what? It's a legacy. So fucking what? That I didn't do it. What you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that
My great granddaddy did all the work. My granddaddy did all the work, and then my grandfather did all the work. So why
in Serbia,
am not entitled to the money for the labor? Are you out your mind or out your fucking body?
neither.
I want my motherfucking money.
But it's not your money.
What?
It's not.
No. Okay. All right. It's not my money.
No.
So, do you expect that your father and mother leaves you wealth?
Well, we're talking about that's a state. That's different from reparations. You can't conflate the two.
It's my fucking money. What are you fucking talking about?
It's not your money. It's not.
I
If it was
love
your
you.
money, it'd be in your bank in your pocket. It's not.
No, it's my money. It's my money.
Look, okay.
It's my money.
If you want it to be
It's my
your money,
motherfucking money. It's my inheritance.
No, nah.
Oh,
Your inheritance is what you're gonna get from mom and what you're managing right now. That's your inheritance. What you desire.
So you're saying that America is entitled to the wealth that they use to go and fuel imperialism. They're entitled to that, but I'm not entitled to the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's already in possession. So entitlement doesn't matter because they already possess it and have it. So we're arguing a moot point. This is why
I love you. This is why I love you.
What are we talking about? I cannot be entitled to a thing that someone else already possesses.
This is so fucking funny.
I can't.
And this is why I love you, Isaiah, because me and you, we just keep talking.
I mean,
but this is one of those places where we don't agree.
Let me, if I could be allowed a moment to clarify my point.
Yeah, you can. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give you a moment. I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate that you're fiery and you.
I know.
And but I'm okay with that. My position is very clear, and it's about the numbers. I'm a numbers person. 2 points I'll make. Number one, as consumers, economically, the power that the black dollar has and the material consumption in America is powerful. It moves markets. We don't collectively use that power to our own benefit. That's number one. My second point.
Okay, because there are gatekeepers. There are gatekeepers that.
We're not reading no comments. We're not reading comments. We listening to my points. That's point number one. Point number two. The welfare state that has commodified our children, that has disrupted our Black families since the late 1950s, early 1960s, has demotivated our community to the point where we've made ourselves dependent upon the state for our own material prosperity and abundance. And that, in my mind, detracts from another generation that we've proven in our history that we're capable of using our own economic force to rise, to lift all our boats. Now, yes, there's lynching. Yes, there's bank redlining. Yes, there's Jim Crowing and all of the other stuff. But despite all of that, historically, we were still capable of proving through numbers, through facts.
So you have 1 and 2.
Build a thing. And now all of a sudden, in a new modern economy where there's much more wealth, which we clearly have power in, all of a sudden we're not capable of creating that wealth and that means of production for ourselves. I don't buy that. I don't buy it.
Okay. So can I respond?
Sure.
So you had 1 and 2. One was I didn't get to write it. It's like you are I forgot what the fuck you said. Give me number 1.
Number 1 was our spending power and our consumption power relative to using that collective consumption power to control our means of production.
Thank you.
Buy shit rather than make shit.
Okay. Thank you.
Got shit.
Thank you. Love you, Isaiah. You and me.
Too.
You know I do. You know I love you.
That's right.
So our number 1, our means of controlling money. Okay.
Using money to control our means of production, which is right. If you want to take 40 acres and a mule, what you gonna do with those 40 acres? 40 acres at that time was controlling the means of production. So we're having a conversation about reparations. That 40 acres and a mule, in terms of what was promised, is the means to control the means of production, which at that time was an agricultural society. And so that's the point. You want to now trade in your 40 acres and a mule for perhaps what the value of 40 acres and a mule would be in terms of real dollars. But what are you going to do with those real dollars? You're going to go buy shit. But that doesn't solve the issue.
You talking about a consumer society.
Well, that's what
I'm not talking about a consumer society. I'm talking about taking money or owed and going do our own shit. Because every time we do our own shit, what the fuck do? Yeah. They burn the goddamn city down. They make a lake out of the goddamn community. Like, they don't like us. Do you have that understanding? They do not like us.
Of course. But somebody liking me or not liking me does not stop my ability to prosper in the world. It may
kill you as they will shoot you dead. As beautiful as you look, they will put a gun in your head and shoot you.
Who's they?
The police.
For what?
Who knows? Who
Okay.
knows for what?
Right. So
They killed a child who was walking home from the goddamn grocery store, who went to the went to the hospital and was playing the violin for cats.
Yeah. No.
They will kill you. What are you talking about?
Okay, you're conflating the nature of our conversation right now, just to be with hyperbole.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. I'm sorry.
Injustice.
Look.
Death, okay.
I'm sorry. I was getting this. I was getting real hype.
Where you going?
I'm sorry. I was getting super hype.
That black people are killed wrongfully.
I was getting super.
Where you going?
So the second thing you said was shit. I can't even read my own word.
I think Sean might be calling me a sociopath.
Never mind. I can't even read it.
You can't even read your writing. My second point is the welfare state.
Pip Lamb did on stale? What? I don't even know.
My second point was the welfare state and how it significantly depressed our ambition and our ability to take our own.
Our chat said, get back to Butch Ware.
I think
so. Should we do that?
This conversation came out of Butch Ware, but yeah,
I'm sorry.
It was reparations.
They tired our ass.
Let's see what Butch Ware's got to say.
Quick before somebody else does it for you, because those two processes look very different. Pulling back those 700 military bases out of the 800 that we have around the world that actually serve no purpose except to antagonize local populations, and then slowly withdrawing from those other non-strategic positions in ways that keep Americans safe. That allows you to reinvest the $1 trillion, or really $1.3 trillion if you take all the auxiliary costs that are now being spent on the endless war machine, and it allows you to reinvest those things in social housing, in healthcare, in fixing the roads, and doing all of the things that the American government could do for the American populace. So when I was pulled when I was invited into the struggle against imperialism, into the struggle against white supremacy, into the struggle against capitalist exploitation, in my time, after having spent a lifetime teaching about this tradition, writing about this tradition as a community organizer, it was an easy decision. And before I even go any further, I just have to observe a moment of silence for Imam Marcellus Khalifa Williams, who was put to death yesterday by this corrupt imperialist state. And we heard nothing from the Black woman who seeks to lead this country into the next phase, right? We heard nothing from the Biden-Harris regime. The federal mechanism, clemency. We have a massive void of moral leadership in this country. And the last thing that I'll say, by way of introducing myself to the American people on this particular program, is that every effort to protect Team Blue, to protect the Democrats from facing accountability for the evil that their own hands have wrought, is equally evil. If you are trying to shield them, 1,000+ deaths in Gaza, the electoral consequences of 11 months of genocide, of increasing police murders in every single year since they have been in power, in sending troops in riot gears in Democratic-controlled cities, Democratic-controlled states to crack kids' heads like they did at UCLA, like they sent troops in riot gear to my own campus at UCSB, then you are part of the problem. Wake up and unplug from the propaganda machine. Everyone is fear-mongering around Trump as though fascism is not already here. So I have entered this fight alongside a lifetime humanitarian, peace activist, ecological conservationist, and moral leader, Jill Stein, in order to shake America out of its stupor, you have more choices than just blue militarized fascism or red militarized fascism. You can actually vote your conscience, vote green. And the last thing that I'll say is that, as Dr. Jill alluded to, the Democrat Party has already lost the swing states of Michigan, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Institute for Social Policy and Understanding, ISPU, has publicly available data that the Democrats certainly saw before that indicates that in the swing states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, that Joe Biden received 65% of the vote in 2020, and the Democrats are polling under 15% in those states now. They could not have won the election without those swing states, and they could not have won those swing states without Muslim voters. Those voters are gone. They are not coming back. Dead man walking. The Democrats cannot win. And Dr. Jill and our host Amy have already cited the CARE study, but Yaqeen Institute will release this week, and I've been privy to this because of my long-term connections inside the Muslim community as a Black Muslim man myself, that over 53% of the Muslims that they surveyed nationwide are now supporting third-party candidates, with something like 80% of those going to the Green Party. That the support for the Democrats in the Muslim community is at 15%, and it's at 4% for Trump. So this effort to try to pin an inevitable defeat of the Democrats upon third-party candidates or upon Muslims is at best disingenuous, and for those that with a clear sense of moral integrity, it is obviously gaslighting.
Oops. Oopsie. What you think?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Well, I mean, I don't know the statistics in terms of the polling that he's cited, but the idea that, red.
Oh, no, I don't like that. Hold on. It's too close. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, the idea that, red fascism, blue fascism, or the idea that fascism is not here already and that this is a referendum on fascist versus democracy, that's all just propaganda. I totally agree with that. The idea that, Democrat or third party candidates will be the reason why Democrats lose, that's nonsense. Really, I think any Black person voting Democrat is just like, well, I'm not going to be insulting, but I think that's just the nature of being propaganda.
Just say what you want to say.
Well, I do say what I want to say, but I say it in a way that fits with my character, integrity. And I would say that they're propagandized in a way that they're blind to see what is the true nature of the experience they're having here in this country. So I agree with a lot of what that brother said. I can't cite the studies, of course, but yeah.
So what do you think about voting green? Or are you voting libertarian? Or you don't even have to say. It's not your job to say.
I don't mind saying. You asked the question, I'll answer it. I'm not opposed to it. I was not. So, right, the public doesn't know, but me, what do? I trade, I'm real estate, I travel around. I don't really get caught up. I'm about my sovereign national status. So, I sort of educate myself on the laws, statutes, and the different places I go. So my mind really doesn't go to the political scene a whole bunch. So I wasn't aware of any of this stuff going on. And I haven't voted in the last 2 presidential elections because I would not vote for Joe Biden. That was ridiculous. And the first time around, I wouldn't vote for Hillary Trump or Hillary Trump, you know what I mean? Clinton or Trump. First time around, no thanks. Second time around, I wasn't going to vote for Biden, and Trump was less appealing or more appealing, but I didn't pull the trigger on that either. Although, I don't mean to inflame anyone here, but regarding my business and my interests, Trump's policies have directly impacted me in a positive light. So I'm
because you're a businessman.
That's right.
That's right. I know.
Black life, we know
it. So as a businessman, I know you see it I know you see it. And then as a Louisianian, any, many, money, mo, how many things I got to go? I know you see it.
There you go.
Oh, you got to be from Louisiana to understand that.
No, a uniqueness all its own.
Yeah, we very unique. Very.
I was
Very.
I was thinking about you yesterday as I was preparing to come on here, saying, I know and I text you this morning that same thing. 2 iterations of Abby Do now. That other woman, Northeasterner or whatever, she's different than this woman here. Interesting.
Okay. You talk about Nina versus Black Life. That's what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about April where we were together and April where she is now. And
okay. Oh, and you see I talk different.
Oh, there's a lot of differences about you.
Yeah.
We got Christopher is on deck. What's Christopher got?
Oh, Christopher. So Christopher, go ahead, read it.
Yeah, Christopher, those of us that have ancestral lineage to America that can be traced at least to the early 1800s should coalesce under American Indian lawfully, politically, and culturally for some as Black if you are.
So Christopher is from one of my Black podcasts where we talk about our lineage as Americans, like foundational Americans. That's who Christopher is.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great conversation. My aunt that recently passed away. So my grandfather on my mother's side, he was, his mother was full-blooded, 100% Native American, Cherokee tribe, Wolf Clan, and she was a washerwoman for the floors of a Orthodox Jewish German, who had an inappropriate relationship. He was married, had sex with my great-grandmother, spawned my grandfather, who was mixed breed in the 30s, 40s, and had a rough life, rejected by his Native American brethren, completely ignored by his German Jewish Orthodox kin. And so long story short, my aunt explored that lineage in depth, and brought that information. There's a book that I have now possession of since they've all passed. Although I'm the youngest of so many that are still left, but I'm the only one who really cares. Point is, there is a lot of that historical ancestral mixture baked into our cakes. And, if we are interested in taking advantage of some of those using those relationships to our benefit, or that bloodline to our benefit, then I think that's a good way.
Well, I have a family bloodline. They are blue black. So you know how black that look.
Right.
When you say somebody blue black,
right.
But they blue black, but their hair was super straight.
Uh-huh.
So you know they was American.
That's
and
right.
then my grandmother, she got treated bad. She was like a native. Her father was native, and all her sisters was goddamn blue black. But she came out looking white adjacent. So they bullied her.
Yeah.
So that's my lineage. That's where I came from. That grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm an American.
Yeah. So
Okay.
speaking to that, right? Christopher says not Native American, but American Indian. So definitely one is a moniker and one is a recognized cultural ethnicity in our legislative society. Certainly, you make a great point there, Christopher. And that's what you're saying, Abby. Do you are? But what is American, right?
What's
So
American?
I think so.
I'm a foundational Black American.
Well,
I've been here.
let's.
My people been here.
Mhm.
We've been in this bitch.
I would like to, and I've had this sort of, I've been touching on this idea, and I think this would be a great conversation for Black Life is on the scene, for the Black Life conversation. I'm going to put this out there.
You can come tomorrow?
I don't know. It depends on the time.
Okay, it's 5 p.m. Central.
It's possible. I might.
Okay.
I might be able to.
Okay.
So
We'll
I've been
talk
having,
about it.
and I've put it out there, and I'm going to put it out here today, and perhaps you folks can talk about it on the show at some point. Right? What does Black mean? Black is not an ethnicity or a cultural identity legislatively, as is Italian, Irish, Congolese, Senegalese.
Oh, you better tell it.
Right? So what is Black? And then conversely, what is white? Right? These are the only two ethnic monikers we use in the entire globe that are not specifically tied to an ethnic cultural.
Jesus fucking Christ, we got to talk about it.
So
what is it?
And really, it didn't become popularity until '68 when Black and I'm Proud came out.
Okay, may I say, like they made white a thing. What the fuck is white? It's Irish, it's Scottish, it's you know, it's like Nordic. Y'all have cultures.
European.
You have cultures. So what the fuck is white? That don't make no fucking sense. The only reason we say Black because we didn't even know where we came from. Ooh. Rondo say Sheikh Malik. Can you read it?
Yeah. So Rondo is saying the Sheikh, the Honorable Sheikh Malik El Shabazz would ask, who were you before 1492? And that's the great question, for sure. I'll give him some of that.
Rondo, peace, fam.
Yeah. So
I love Rondo. Rondo is about that.
We talk about white and Black, and white is only used to sort of keep the psychological justification of moral authority above the counterpart, which is Black. And so that trickery in our English language is part of the psychological oppression that we experience as
you're doing too much.
That we've adopted.
This supposed to be on Black Life. You're doing too much.
Well, I just put it out there for a conversation because we keep saying it over and over and over again, and I always do this when I use that term.
And then look at this shit.
Discuss the panel, please. Okay. Distinguished panel, please check.
No, we can't do that. You can't do that, Michael. We can't click on it.
Put that out right
now. Take that off.
Put that for another time. I'm gonna copy and paste it.
But this is so fucking funny. Okay, so let me just It's only one more minute left. And why the fuck did he only get 3 minutes? I'm gonna just play him.
Stein is the presidential. Vice presidents don't have any. Yeah. Nobody. Vice president.
Last question to Dr. Stein, and we just have 30 seconds. You grew up in a Zionist household. How do you respond to those who say that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism as a Jewish presidential candidate? Just 30 seconds.
Yeah, so in brief,
and it's still her
equating anti-genocide, the resistance to genocide, saying that that is anti-Semitism. In my view, that is the most.
You know what? Fuck this shit. Because
Black life. I've got my black law. My
it was totally her the whole time, and I thought we was gonna be talking to Butch Ware. No, so I fucked that up. I'm sorry.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I'm gonna take him down. Why was she talking the whole goddamn time? That didn't make no sense. What did I say? Oh, is Michael working in the background? Yeah, he is.
Doesn't it make sense? She's the presidential candidate. Of course, she would the majority of the time. So this is what Black Life was referencing. Black Law's Dictionary. I would recommend that every quote unquote Black person have this book in their possession and come to understand it, because Black Life is correct. It is the legal reference that defines the terms. Black Law's Dictionary is a legal reference.
Look. Rondo said he got the Black Law Dictionary too.
Yeah, you got
it too.
We are, for whatever it's worth, we're a society of laws. And if you don't know your rights, then you don't have any. And it's important to know what the trickery of the language, sophistry, as it's termed, of the language is used to keep you subjugated. And a lot of that is white and Black. Another thing is family. Family is a term that was used to define the offspring of the slaves, but the Caucasians were known as clan or tribe, which is our African moniker. Clan was used, right? You'll see the the Hatfield clan and the McCoy clan, right? That's what they used to term their family.
Yeah. Sean, I have the Metunatel. That's a word. The Metunatel.
Say, what is that?
The Metunatel.
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 Type it in the chat and then tell us about it.
Oh, I'll put it in the chat. Okay.
Educate the people.
They already heard what I had to say.
That is where the sorcery occurs. It's in the English language that a lot of the the sorcery, the sophistry, the mental, psychological war is happening. Battle is occurring. Okay.
Oh, Rondo said it.
Tell exactly. Us what it is, Abby.
Exactly.
Abby, you got to share with us the definition and what that is.
No, it's not. It's not a definition. It's a book.
It's a book, okay, and that book is
Metunatel.
Come on.
Put it back up, Michael. Thank you so much, Michael.
Could you give us something about the book other than the title? Is what I'm asking.
It shows the hieroglyphics and what they mean,
Okay.
like an understanding of what the hieroglyphics mean.
Okay.
And it says in the Metunater, the first book, it says that Black people became conscious of their consciousness, and that's how like the Big Bang happened. It's like consciousness became conscious of its consciousness.
Yeah, I will, that book's now on my list. I'll get that right away. I do have back there the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which sort of.
And I had that one.
Mm-hmm. And I've got here also my Kabbalah.
But it's not the Book of the Dead. It's the Book of the Coming Forth.
Sure.
Of the living. That's what it really is.
Right.
Right?
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Okay.
But it is my knowing from a spiritual perspective as we sort of transition, right? That being consciously aware in your conscious waking state of your subconscious, unconscious connection to that which is higher than is the purpose of existence in this physical form. And when you're capable of connecting with that bridge, then you've transcended and no longer have to come back and have the experience again.
And Black Life, no, I've known about this book for at least, I'm 47, so at least 30 years.
Nature.
Thank you. And God bless. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Touching on idealism versus materialism.
Look, well, let him just come up. Just come on up.
Hey, what's up?
Not to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. I'm sitting here just waiting.
Bryce, have a good night, Bryce. Bryce, my name is Isaiah. They call me Mr. Is Now. Never later.
Okay. Good night, Bryce. We love you. And we thank you for your watching. Yep.
But as far as idealism versus materialism, when you're talking about the Metunater and consciousness becoming conscious of itself, I think that's maybe more coming from the idealism school of thought, as far as the origin of things in nature. And the more Marxist school of thought tends to be materialist. So the more unorthodox Marxists are more idealist and can tend to be rejected more by the rest of the Marxists. So
I don't know where he went.
oh, what's up?
Oh, there you go.
It's not that we needed to delve into that too much. I just wanted to point out that this conversation's just kind of touching on that other conversation, right?
Yeah. A.
I say it a lot, yeah.
Because he from Canada, eh?
Cut word, yeah.
He funny, eh? Okay, eh? I love him. I love him so much. He is my friend in so many ways. And so are you. So here we go. Should I just play? It's like 1 more minute. Should I just play it?
There's no more Butch Ware going on, so
I don't know. We'll see.
Anti-Semitic thing one could possibly say to imply that it's anti-Jewish to oppose genocide. Zionism and Judaism are very different. Zionism has been controversial within Judaism for much of the lifetime of Zionism. Zionism is a political ideology. It is not Judaism. And Gaza is not a war between Jews and Muslims. It is a war by Zionists on Jews, Muslims, and Christians.
Jill Stein, we want to thank you so much for being with us. Green Party presidential candidate, and Butch Ware, Green Party vice presidential
what the
nominee, a professor at.
I got so mad because I really thought he was going to be talking more than he was. It was all about Jill Stein.
See, the points I would make about pre-production must have slipped away in this Louisiana version.
Shut up. Shut up. Look, he trying to talk shit about me. Go ahead, talk your shit. Because you would you would expected me to like have a production screen, like a Excel sheet, like a layout and all kind of shit, huh?
Down, time stamp for each segment of discussion, a running clock so that we could come in and out of each segment. Nah, this is freestyle. Podcasting is freestyle conversation. So you talk off the cuff and it's not, produced. It's just genuine folks. So that's what it's supposed to be. I like it.
Why you did me like that though?
I just put you on blast real quick.
You did really put me on blast. That was funny. And it was cute because it's real. Because you were the one who taught me how to direct and produce.
Well,
wasn't that you?
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't know who was doing it before, but I was happy to share with you and work with you. So
no, it was you. It was you. And I learned.
You're good at it. That's what
I got my lesson. And we did a lot of good jobs together, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Like we earned awards together.
100%. Great conversations out there, a lot of good stuff. And I guess, when you first moved to where you are now, you were referencing some things you were going to do or into, I don't know.
I got the press.
Okay. Well, that's a conversation for another day, perhaps.
Yeah.
It was something I was thinking about yesterday, thinking about coming on here today. Like, yeah, what's going on there? But we're going to have this conversation off air.
Offline, yeah. I got the press. I really did.
No, it's heavy lifting, what you got going on.
It is heavy lifting.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot to give.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And the caregiving you given with other people. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, Rondo.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, you know it. Rondo says, I don't know what you think this is. We're a fly-by-night operation here. Shooting from the hip on them.
Rondo ain't shit. Rondo.
Nihilo, yeah, agree with you there. It's teetering on the edge. Science fiction and clairvoyance. What is Nihilo said something earlier? Not at its core, what'd she say? Or he, I don't even know if it's he or she, I shouldn't say, but at its core, it is a real thing. I've had what the F, how did I know that moments? And I was just speaking in the moment. Now some can be passing memory or maybe logic, but yeah. No,
it's really been hard for me. It's really been hard, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say it, it's really been hard.
Yeah. It all out.
I mean, it's hard to have an adult that really wants to still be an adult and you trying to like curb their enthusiasm, and they still want to be like a full adult, but they can't really be an adult because they really can't do shit. I got to put labels on the fucking cabinets because you can't even remember where the fuck the plates and the everything is.
Yeah. Abby, let's wrap it up. Well, we're gonna talk about that. That's not for
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me go out.
It is a
Let me
3
go.
hour mark.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got too into my feelings. I got in my feelings.
We're gonna talk about problems and solutions offline.
Okay, I got my feelings.
It's been great to be here. I'm glad we got to do this the first time. I told you I didn't have 3 hours, but I was.
And how we in here 3 hours?
I know. I got all kinds of messages, but this is our first
look,
go.
Look how they laughing.
I know.
All right, so we just gonna wrap it up. We about to go. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because you should. And we'll be back around next time.
Been a great conversation with everyone out there. Thanks for chiming in, Rondo, Nihilo, Sean, Christopher, Jacqueline, Black Life, everybody. Great input. It's good to be bouncing it off with the people. So thanks for having me. Happy to be here and converse with everyone.